Ladies and gentlemen.
Familiar with. It's nice. Yeah. It's wonderful. Thank you, Katrina. Okay, first of all, Mr. West, thank you for interviewing with us.
You're welcome.
And the first question would be, how did you get to be hired for the movie?
Earlier that, I don't know whether January, February, or March, they were around here looking for extras. And I was walking over the hill and they saw me. And they asked me if I would be an extra in the movies and and show up. So I did, but they said, bring your dog. I had a poodle at the time. It was my first poodle. I had 2 poodles, and so I went down to be an extra, and I was doing the model where they were getting everybody running, getting ready to take out these small boats to do all kinds of stuff. So I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know the director was anywhere near around. So I was going down. A fella tried to pull my dog. I said, "You leave my dog alone." He got out there. The next time I went out there, he looked at me. So the next day, I had a different job because a fella had a boat there and there was no one to run it, so I run the boat. And so coming home that day, I've had all the camera crew and everything else, and the director, I'll think of his name in a minute, was there, and he asked me if I'd take a speaking part with a dog, so I said yes, so that's how I got in it. And then I was Quint's mate after that. Spielberg was his name.
Yeah, Steve Spielberg.
Spielberg. I don't remember names too much. I can't.
But I'm sure you remember the name Robert Shaw.
Yeah, he was very good. He was good.
Yeah. What was it like working with him?
Because it was the first time around with the movie, but he was very good. Spielberg there, he says, make up a line, or say a line on that. So I says, I quit. I'm not going on that old slab. Mr. Quint, I quit. I ain't going. Mr. Quint, I quit. I ain't going. Mr. Quint, I quit. I ain't going. I quit. I quit, Mr. Quint. I quit.
You don't go, you don't get paid.
I don't care. I'm not going on that old slab after that crazy old shot. I'm not crazy.
You miserable little son of a bitch. You get that blackfish on my boat, pump out the bilges, top up the fuel tanks, then get your ass out of here because you're on the beach.
And that was my own line.
You made that up?
No, it's an old line I heard other people say, old fishermen, years ago. I'm not going on that old slab or different names. And,
After that crazy old shark, you said?
yeah, going out on that old slab. It was an old slab, so no boat. So.
Were you disappointed that your dialogue was taken out?
No, not that, because some was and some wasn't, and they did this and that, and I've seen where I've been on more on the movies than what they had. They done enough on that movie to make 4 movies out of it. They were here from May till end of October. It took them that long to.
So for you being a part of Jaws, was it just another job, or are you pretty proud of your involvement?
I was. I mean, I never thought it was going to be like that. Never.
When it became very successful, did you become a local celebrity? Or?
No. I mean, I was never changed. Everybody, I've been seen all over, and everybody's like that. Of course, the fishermen from New Bedford and all over. They heard I was going to be in it. And boy, they went to see the movie, but there was more truth in that movie than a lot of movies. A lot of truth. Sharks. Because I was working after that. I was right there running the camera barge when the shark went through the boat.
Oh yes, when the shark hopped onto the boat.
Yeah, went through
landed.
the stern. Went through the stern of the boat.
Oh really?
And I laughed like a son of a gun because the boat tipped over and all the cameramen that were taking pictures fell overboard. And I thought that was funny. Oh, help him. I said, I can't help him. I was holding on to my belly, laughing.
Are there any other interesting or memorable stories you have about the production?
No, that's about the only one.
That's it?
And then when they blew the shark up, that's another.
You saw when they blew him up?
Yeah.
And how did that come about?
Well, they was really, they was way out, and they had to, because I was on the camera, I was running the camera barge, an old ferry that went across from Chappaquiddick from Edgertown to Chappaquiddick. But it's hard for me to remember a lot of this stuff because it's been 25 years.
Right. Long time. So besides, we know of one scene that was taken out of the film where you say, "I quit, Mr. Quint." You said that you shot a lot more footage. I think.
Oh yeah, I tell you, they had some good shots, but when they had that shack up there, a lot of it did not come out.
Really?
A lot of it did not come out, and that's how come it was not put in.
Okay, there's a problem with the film, or?
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
What it was.
So what kind of scenes were filmed with you in the shack?
Oh, there was one there. That's where I said I quit not going on that old slab. And they didn't have the camera fixed up at the time. And it was just practicing when Quint came at me. And when he did, he hit the chair and the dog went at him.
Okay.
And they were mad because they didn't get the scene. But it didn't come out anyhow.
Actually, I have that scene on a video cassette. So that scene did come out, in fact.
Yeah, but this one here with the dog like that, because that dog he was a poodle, but he didn't want to be that far from me.
Yeah, I saw he was always following behind you.
Yeah, always right with me.
Yeah.
Right, you start the engine of the boat, and he wouldn't get off. He'd get back on that boat and he'd stay there, no matter what boat I went on. And I had a dog after that, poodle after that, and that was the same way. Because when I went, the dog went.
So what were you doing for a living
Fishing.
at the time? You were fishing?
Fishing.
And it's been like that ever since?
I've been like that before and after. I started when I was, about 3 or 4 years old with my father. My father, when I was 5 and 6 years old, used to take me and tie me in the mast so I wouldn't fall out, looking for swordfish. I'd get so excited I wouldn't fall out. But I started when I was young. I went away for a while and I hated it, so I come right back when fishing. I fished all the way from here. I've been down off of Florida, but never was in Florida, and all the way to the Grand Banks.
So it's in your blood.
Yep.
You ever fish for sharks?
I've seen plenty of sharks.
Yeah.
Plenty of sharks.
Big ones?
Yeah. Well, that shark there, they got that they hung up. They got that from Florida. Something they had it shipped in. Well, they got up there, so they said, "We don't know how to clean it." I said, "That's nothing. You can clean it." Okay, we'll give you $50. 3 minutes, I had it all done.
Really?
They looked at me. They said, "You don't know how to do nothing." I said, "Well, I've cleaned plenty of swordfish."
Well, that's the end of my questions.
That's great.
That's great.
I mean, it's hard for me to remember that long. They had a shack up here. When you go, look across, you know where the Home Port restaurant is?
No, but we know the vacant lot where they built the Quint shack.
All right. Over across, but it's all wrecked up now, was where they had the orchard tube with the one the shack went through. Yeah, it's over there. There's a white boat on there, and that's on the inside. It belongs to Murphy now. But
All right, Mr. Lynn Murphy.
yeah, and then before that they had 3 sharks. They had a left-hand shark and a right-hand shark and a straight shark that was working on this barge that was done by hydraulics, and they could do anything with them, but they were on track.
So you've seen sharks in real life, great white sharks maybe?
I've seen two or three of them. Oh, I saw sharks. I've seen sharks, all kinds of sharks. I saw sharks when I was a little bit of a kid.
So you've seen the real thing up close. When you saw the mechanical sharks, did it make you laugh, or did it really look
Well,
like...
it looked like a lot like a shark. They looked just like a shark. It didn't make me laugh. It wasn't fake at all. And that's the one that went through the stern of the boat. It was on a track, and they had the boat back on the track, and that's where it went and did all the paraphernalia there.
Must have taken a lot of tries to get it to land on the stern of the boat.
No. They had it right down right there. Come right straight through because they had the open stern. They come right straight through it, like that. Oh, I've seen a lot of sharks. I used to, when I was a little kid, 10, 12, 9, coming home at night. A lot of times I'd ask my father if I could go down out in the stands if I could hit a shark. And so one night was coming in, and I said, "Can I go?" My father said, "Sure." So I went down, and all at once I looked way up ahead, and there was just a shark. And so I told my father how to, like that, pointed. He started going up. The next thing I heard, I didn't see it was no shark. It was a swordfish. So I was going out, and he was coming down. I went up. So we got on the Norman's late that night. Then he got on the Norman's, and so the fellow says, "What was you all over the ocean for today?" And my father was my father, a very good friend of mine. All the time. He was quite a lot older. He was younger than my father, though. He said, always the kid wanted to hit a couple of sharks, so we was letting him do it. I wouldn't do it. Well, Norman says, "There's 2 right there. Those 2 there are sharks." He says, "Well, I was in the dory hauling it. They see another one and they got it." So that was 2 he ended up 4. And he says, "Ooh, I'd never do it." The fellow of the boat says, "Well, if I had a boy, he'd go." "Oh, no, he wouldn't." He said, "Then you wouldn't go." And I was always lucky because I could go with my father. My father always taking me. And my father always had men that didn't care. My father that was the same fellow a couple of years before that. My father asked him if he wanted to go 3-handed or 2-handed. He said, "We go 2-handed, and me for the grub." That's all I got was a grub for when I first started.
Okay.
Well,
I should wrap it up. That's plenty.
that's great stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It really
You're
is.
welcome.